Hello and good evening. This is Ruth Pozuelo from Curbal.com, and today is time to do another dashboard. What I'm going to show you is a dashboard that measures the effect of your blog post have on your traffic, on your web traffic. So here is how the dashboard looks like. We have down here the blue line is the number of sessions for a website. The red dots are the blog posts when they were published. So here we have the timeline, and here's the number of sessions. So here a blog post was published, and the size of the dot is the number of page views. So just by looking at this, what this chart is saying us is quite many things actually. We can see, for example, how many posts we've published in the period that is shown. We can also see how many posts have been popular, and you can see by the size of the number of page views, those are the posts that actually bring most of your or a lot of traffic to your site. And what we can also see up here, we have a bar chart with the number of blog posts published on that month. So what I want to show here is the frequency. There are theories online that the more you publish, the bigger traffic you get, and this is a way to visualize it. So here, for example, in this period I was quite consistent publishing blog post, and my traffic was growing, and as soon as I stopped, the traffic just dropped like stone actually. So you could actually see it. I think it's clearer to see it here than here in this chart. Another thing that this chart has is that it's animated. So if I click on the play button, it will start showing me the sessions, and then when I publish a blog post, it will show here. So here we show the title and how many page views on there. So it is quite fun to watch. So this chart is useful for all the reasons that I explained, and also for the type of analysis that you can do. They have, for example, in Google Analytics annotations. And annotations are basically notes that you can do on the things that happened on your website. For example, your server went down for a day or two or for hours and your traffic drops. You want to make sure that you annotate that. Something that is a little bit pity is that you cannot actually export the annotations through the Google API. So now you have a possibility here to create your notes and show with traffic what happened. For example, if you have publish a marketing campaign, and then you could actually use these charts to mark when you have these social campaigns and see the effects that it has on your traffic. So I'm going to show you in this example blog posts and the effect they have on traffic, but you could actually use it for your marketing campaigns, for your annotations, or anything you like. The chart is absolutely brilliant. I really, really, really like it. So without any more delay, let's build the chart. So to build this chart, we are going to use our Power BI template for Google Analytics. I have a video showing you how to use this, and you will be able to download it from there. I will post a link, don't worry. So we're going to use that. What this Power BI template does is it creates a calendar for us, but not only that, it also creates the geographical data table. It will remove the spam, and it will download basic Google Analytics data, right? And also you will be able to choose the account property and view that you like from here using query parameters. So if you want to use it, make sure you check out that video, because I'll show you how you can configure this so it fits your needs, and you have the link for download. So let's load this. So now that it's loaded, let's look at how it looks like. So what we have here is our calendar table. Here are all the parameters. And then we have a geographical table, and we have a basic Google Analytics data. And then we have the spam list. We don't need the geographical table here, but I'm going to leave it there in case you want to use it together with geographical data. So I won't remove it. We won't be using this table for this exercise, but you get it there in case you want it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to modify this because we don't want all this stuff. The only thing we want for our dashboard is let's see, we're going to get dates and sessions. That's what we need for this table. Now, when you are trying to remove these measures, these dimensions and metrics from the table, what you get here in the API is folders, and it might be a bit confusing if you are not if you have not used Google Analytics API a lot, where to look. So for that, I'm going to show you a trick. So what we're going to do is Google API Explorer. I have to say that I own this site, so just so you know. And what we have here is Google Analytics Glossary that I created a few years ago, and then also Google Analytics Administration Panel, where you have tutorials on how to configure Google Analytics. So if we go to the Google Analytics Glossary, here we have our dictionary. And what you see here, categories, is exactly the same thing you see in Power BI Desktop, the folders. These ones, okay? So something you can do on that site is you can go here and search for time, and then you can see all the metrics and dimensions that are available under time. What you can also do is you can search, for example, we want to remove city ID. So you can go here and write city ID, search. And here you get the results. We click on it. And what you can see here is a definition of what city ID is. And then you have this, that is the Google Analytics API reference. So you can see that city ID is in the group Geo Network. So if we go back to Power BI and we go to that folder here, that's where we find city ID. So if you don't find for any reason, you can always go there and find where it belongs. And you can also find definitions of dimensions of metrics that you might not be comfortable with or know about. I know where all these things are, so I will just go ahead and take out the time we want. We want date, and we're going to remove sessions we took away. We're going to remove source, that is in traffic sources, and we're going to go to, no, that's it, session. Did I take away sessions that we want to have? So we want date and sessions. Okay, so click OK. And of course this is going to complain, but now it's okay. So we want now another table with page titles and page views. Okay, we don't want to put it here because it will repeat the data, and it's just not necessary. Make the table bigger. So we're going to duplicate this table, call it page views. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. We go up here and we are going to choose now. We don't want sessions and we don't want date. What we want is there, page tracking. Here we have it. We have page views and page title. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do now is we want to get data from our WordPress site or your website, whatever platform it is. I'm going to show you how it works with WordPress. I made a video just a couple of weeks ago about how to import WordPress data into Power BI. So now we're going to use that technique to bring our page titles and when they were published in this report. So here is the video where I show you how to do it, and I will post a link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this step fairly quickly. So I will fast forward to where I actually have the data in, because you can actually follow this tutorial to get the data, and I don't want to make the video too long. Okay. So now we have our published posts dataset. We don't want all that information, so what we want to limit it to is, let's see what we have. We want title and date. That's all we want, nothing else. So what we're going to do now is, this we don't need. We are going to merge our page views with our published posts. And we need to change these to date. So let's do that first. We split the column by space. And now we're going to do a merge. So we're going to merge this table with our page views. And is when the title is the same. Now, there are different kinds of joins you can do with merge, and I have a video explaining what each one of those mean. So make sure you check it out if you're a little bit unsure. I have like a quite nice guide so you can visualize what all these things are. But in this case, what we want is all the titles from the first table that matches the second table. So for example, here we have a translation in Russian and we don't want that. So click OK. And we are going to expand only on page views. And we are not getting anything because Google Analytics always set the blog name at the end of the post. So what we're going to do is replace that by nothing. And here we have it. Okay. So let's give this a better title. Blog post, blog title, post title, perhaps. This is our date column. We don't need the time, so we're going to remove it. And then we have the page views. So now that we have these, what we're going to do is we're going to merge these with our Google Analytics data and the sessions. So we do exactly the same, merge queries. we take our published posts, and now the common denominator on these two tables is the date. So if I publish something on any of these dates, I want it here. So I want all from the Google Analytics data matching from the second our second table. Okay. And now we want not date but post title and page views. So perfect. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is those tables that we don't want anymore, we just don't load them. So those we don't need anymore, and in this case I don't have any geographical data, so I'm going to disable the load. Another thing you can do, as you see, I have now a bunch of query parameters here and a few of them there. The order that you have them here is the order they appear when you open the Power BI template. So I recommend, if you want to have any other order, that you move them in the order that you want them. So I would probably do like this instead. So, and now we can load. So now we have loaded data. We are going to make sure that there is a relationship between them and it is correct, which it is. I have a video on how to create these relationships between tables, so make sure you check it out if you're a little bit unsure. In this case, Power BI got it right by itself, so we don't need to do anything. So what we are going to do now is we are going to build our dashboard. And for that, we need a custom visual that is called Pulse Chart. So we're going to import it. I have already downloaded it. So make sure that you download the latest one, because the previous one, it doesn't work on the latest Power BI updates. Okay, so make sure you have the latest one. So, and here we have it. So let's start creating our dashboard. So now that we have the data, the first thing we're going to do is create measures for page views and sessions. So let's do that. Total sessions is just the sum of the actual sessions. We are going to create total page views, which is also just the sum of the page views. And we're going to move both of them to the right table. So, and we are going to hide date, page views, and sessions. So we are going to use the Pulse chart, where we're going to have as a timestamp, we have the date, and then we have sessions as the value. And as you see, for the x-axis, it gets in the middle. I don't like that, so I always change it to the bottom. It's just much clearer, I think. We don't want to have a pop-up. What this pop-up does is it just shows up here a text, but it just, the visualizations get so small and the text is so small that I don't like it either. I have made my own, as you saw on the previous demo. So we go back to the visualization. We want to have a post title as the event title. And we want to have the number of page views as the size of the dots. And we want to have a nicer color for that. So. And now what we're going to recreate is the bar chart that we had up here, that we could see the number of posts per month. And for that, we just need to create a simple measure that counts the number of posts. Date I write, because month you could change, you might want to have with something else. So count a post titles. So what this does is very simple. We're going to have by month, so we want to have year month. And now we're going to first move it to the right table. Then we are going to make sure it's 0. It is. And now what it does is it counts the number of posts I published on every month. You can see, right? And we're going to do that as a bar chart. And we are going to change the color to red, data color red, because that's the number of posts. Here is also the posts. And then I chose a bar chart with a line because I think it's quite nice to have the sessions as a line value. So we can see how sessions were increasing or decreasing depending on the number of posts that we were publishing. So, and now one of the nicest things is that when you are running this chart, is also filtering on this chart too. So as it goes, it's telling you in which month we are located. It normally takes quite a long time to play, so I usually speed things up, otherwise it takes forever to run it. It's taking forever, right? So you need to adjust that so it doesn't take so long time. So it's now saying, okay, we are in August. And now for the last thing that I had on the chart I showed you is this rectangular here, that what it's doing is showing us the blog post title and the page views here. And the way I did that is basically you see, it is a list table, and here we have all the posts, but this graph is filtering this list, and that's why it's only showing it and showing it actually in the proper way. If we back it down, you will see that it looks quite nice. I think it looks nicer than the one that is actually popping up in here. I don't like that much, so that's why I did my own in the middle. So this is all for today. I hope you enjoy this dashboard, and remember, you can do other things. You can put, like, I don't know, your social media campaigns in there, or you can put annotations of your sales data or any other data. It is a dynamic chart that you can use for so many things, and it will give you a really nice overview of what is going on historically with your data. So make sure you use it. I will post a link for download. So if you don't want to build it yourself, just make sure you download it and use it that way instead. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please let me know. I love to hear your comments and your feedback. Any suggestions or ideas for new blog posts, let me know on the comment box or any of the social channels listed below. And subscribe. I publish videos every week on Power BI. Have a great evening. Bye.